Ladies and gentlemen, gather round, grab a cup of coffee or a bottle of motor oil if that's your thing, because today we're diving into the gloriously complicated love affair between a mechanic's worst nightmare and a design student's wet dream. The 1936 Cord 810 Phaeton. Yeah, that car. The one that looks like Batman's summer ride if he vacationed in Palm Beach during the Great Depression. Now, before we get lost in this Art Deco fever dream, do us a favor and smash that subscribe button like you're trying to get a seized bolt off a 72 Buick. We've got more weird, wonderful, and occasionally questionable vehicles to roast, praise, and psychologically analyze. Let's talk about this Cord 810, because calling it a car is almost insulting. It's more of a four-wheeled historical thesis on why engineers shouldn't drink absinthe at work. First off, it's front-wheel drive. In 1936, that's like saying your great-grandfather had Wi-Fi. It's powered by a naturally aspirated 289 cubic 4737 cubic centimeters Lycoming V8. This 8-cylinder miracle isn't turbocharged, isn't supercharged, but it does have 3 main bearings and a single Stromberg downdraft carburetor. I mean, it's got Startix, which is basically a self-starting system that worked about as often as a politician's promises. The engine feeds into a Detroit Gear 4-speed, 4 forward gears, preselector transaxle. For those unfamiliar with preselectors, imagine you tell your car, hey, I'd like 3rd gear in a minute, and then when you press the clutch, the car says, okay, now I believe you. It's basically predictive texting for your gearbox, but the kind from 1936 that crashes halfway through the sentence. And yes, it sends all that majestic confusion straight to the front wheels. Because rear-wheel drive is for peasants, apparently. This beast had pop-up headlights, mechanical pop-up headlights, operated by hand cranks on the dash. I swear it's like they designed this thing after a night of poker, brandy, and a dare. This particular example, oh baby, she's been around, passed through hands like a rumor at a 1940s diner. One guy bought it in 1988 and started a refurbishment in the 90s, which I'm guessing was just him staring at it in the garage while muttering, "What have I done?" Then some Floridian got hold of it. Of course it was Florida, and it went through another restoration. Between 2009 and 2017, it got repaint, retrimmed in red leather, and even had the chrome redone. Because nothing says classic elegance like the color scheme of a blackjack table. Suspension? We're talking independent front suspension with a trailing arm setup and a transverse leaf spring. Rear's got a solid axle with semi-elliptical leaf springs. Translation, your chiropractor will hate you, but your heart will sing. The red leather interior includes dual glove boxes because back in the day, people needed one for gloves and one for regrets. Roll-up windows, retractable rear quarter glass, maroon carpeting, a rotary radio dial, and an instrument cluster straight out of Buck Rogers. There's even a heater, probably more useful than the brakes, which are hydraulic drums on all 4 wheels. You stop this thing by praying and downshifting. Mileage? Odometer test says 39,000 miles, 63 kilometers, only 80 kilometers of which were added by the latest owner. That's right. This thing's basically a museum piece. Or a prop from a noir movie where the villain escapes with a briefcase full of cash and oil leaks. Now, if you're hoping to snag this art on wheels, too late. It sold at auction on March 31st, 2025 for $159,000, about 146,000 euros. Back in 1936, this car would have cost you around $2,195, which at the time could also buy you a small house, a cow, and maybe a decent reputation. Today, the most pristine Cords can go for over $200,000, about 184,000 euros at auction, with average examples floating between $100,000, about 92,000 euros, and $140,000, about 29,000 euros. So yeah, collector prices, collector headaches. And here's the real kicker, folks. The new owner bought it without a title. Yup, just a registration, which is expired. So now they get to spend their weekends dealing with Department of Motor Vehicles bureaucracy while explaining that yes, their car has pop-up headlights. No, not electric. And yes, it has a transaxle in the front, because that made sense in the 30s. Anyway, if you're curious about the auction, hit the link in the description. It's all there. Photos, paperwork, and the smell of money burning slowly in a red leather interior. Before I let you go, remember, you can support this chaotic, grease-stained, laughter-filled channel for just $1, less than a quart of oil, a month. Click the sponsor link below unless you want us reviewing scooters next week. See you next time, and remember, if it ain't leaking, is it even a classic?